Good afternoon, students of class 5. Today I'm going to teach you SST, the treeless grasslands. Means the grasslands that does not have trees. Now let's get into the chapter. The temperate zone is located away from the equator between the tropics and the polar circles. As the name suggests, the places in these zones are neither too hot nor too cold. So the temperature zone has less rainfall, which usually falls in summer. Hence, only grasses grow in such regions, and it is known as a grassland. As a grassland. So the temperature zone has very less rainfall, which usually falls in summer only. So only grasses grow in such regions, and that's why it is called a grassland. Now let's see the other one. Grassland cover more than 1/5 of the land surface on the earth. These are enormous and flat plains of grass with very few trees. Now they are very big and huge with very few trees and bushes. The summers are hot and the winters are very, very cold. So the rains are also less. So forest cannot grow because to have a forest we need rains. A lot of rain. The grasslands are known by different names in different regions. Now different regions they are known by different names. Now let us see. The various grasslands are the prairies in North America, the steppes in Russia, the pampas in South America, Wales in South Africa, and the downs in Australia. So let's go to the next page. Yeah. So let's go here. The prairies. Let us learn about the prairies. One such vast stretch of sloping grassland is situated in the interiors of North America. In the interiors, actually, basically in the United States, basically towards the south, it is called the prairies. It is derived from the French word prairie, which means a large open area of grassland. It means a large open area of grassland. Now look at the map here. So the map showing the location of the prairies in the USA, the United States of America. Look here. This is where the bluish green. This is where the prairies are. Okay. Now location and the land. The prairies in North America extend from Canada to Mexico. So it's coming right from the north into the south of Mexico. From Canada to Mexico. It is located in the northern hemisphere, roughly between the equator and the North Pole. The two big rivers. Now there are two big rivers, the Mississippi and the Missouri pass. These two rivers pass through this region, the Mississippi and the Missouri. Now in the prairies, now let's say the climate and the agriculture. The prairies, the climate is extreme. Now what is extreme? Extreme is like very cold during the winter or very hot during the summer. Like Delhi, example, during the summer in Delhi it is very, very hot, and in the winter it is very, very cold. So extreme climate they have. The winters are cold and the summers are hot. Rainfall is moderate, means not much rainfall, just moderate. Rain and occurs mostly in the summer months or summer season. This climate is not suitable for trees to grow. So this climate is not suitable for the trees to grow. Trees are rare in the prairies. Trees are very rare, means not much trees are there, except along the riverside, because the riverside is fertile. But grasses grow quickly and are very, very tall. The grasses grow very quickly and they are very tall. The spring season shows the best growth of grasses. During the spring, the grasses grow best. Sometimes hot winds cause Chinook, which blow in spring over the prairies, help to melt the snow and make grazing possible. Okay, uh, the hot winds, which are called Chinook, they help to melt the snow and they make grazing possible. Now, making grazing possible means grasses will be there where the animals come and graze or eat the grass. The presence of rivers, Mississippi and Missouri, and the tributaries are a boon for the farmers as they provide water for irrigation. This region is perfect for growing wheat and is therefore called the wheat basket of the world. This place is called the wheat basket of the world. These favorable conditions make the United States of America the largest producer of wheat in the world. The USA is the largest producer of wheat in the world. Now, vegetation and wildlife. This area was at one time covered with tall grasses. At one time, this full area was covered with tall grasses for miles and miles together. So you could stand in one place and you could see, and you could look into the distance. It had only tall grasses. It was the grazing ground for bisons. Now, this was the grazing ground for the bison. The bison used to come and graze over there. But once the Europeans arrived on these lands, you see, once the Europeans came on these lands, they settled down. They used the prairies as grazing lands for their cattle. So they started using, when the Europeans came and settled down, they started using this land for their own cattle. Later, they cleared the land for agriculture. Later, they started clearing the land so that they could grow crops. Now, this has become the biggest farming region of the world. Now, this area has become the biggest farming region of the world. Several small animals are found, which include dogs and sussex. These are community animals. They are community animals, and like other community animals, they gather seeds and store them. They gather the seeds and they store them for the winter or some other time. This helps in plant growth. These animals also help in the plant growth. Another way by which they help in plant growth is by turning the soil over while digging burrows. While they're digging burrows, they also help in the plant growth by turning or taking out the soil. Now let's go here. The birds found here are hawks, owls, and eagles. What are the birds that are found here? Hawks, owls, and eagles. Reptiles that feed on birds' eggs. Reptiles like snakes, so some other reptiles, they eat the birds' eggs. Also live here. Apart from these animals, insects such as the lubber grasshopper, tiger beetle, harvester ant, and the humble bug are found here in abundance. Plenty of them are found over here. Now, life of the farmers and their occupation, what work they do, how the farmers live here, and what work they do. Farms in the prairies stretch over thousands of acres. So they stretch over thousands of acres. On every farm, there are small homesteads in which the farmer's family lives with the workers called cowboys. Okay, the workers also live with the family, with the farmer's family, and they're called cowboys. Small sheds are built to keep cattle and farm machinery. So small sheds are built over there to keep the machinery, like this all the machines, and to keep the cattle. They use scientific technology. The farmers, they use scientific technology over there. Plowing, sowing, harvesting, threshing, and winnowing are done with the help of all machines. All these things are done with machines. The storing of food grains in the silos is done through machines also. Huge harvesters are used to complete the work of hundreds of workers in a few hours. These machines, they have huge harvesters. Okay, they are machines. Now they complete the work of hundred of workers. They don't need so many people. So these machines do it in a very few hours. Rearing is another important occupation in the open hills, hilly land towards the west. Animal means people keeping animal and rearing them for purposes for meat or for selling. Hence, the soil is not very fertile. Cattle rearing is done in ranches that are well equipped with modern machinery. Now, ranches are the large open areas which they have fences around them, where they keep horses and all over there. So, cattle are mostly reared for meat, which is consumed locally, which is eaten locally, or exported to Europe. Animals are also reared for milk and milk products. Well equipped, huge dairy farms are also located near the cities. Now, the prairies are rich in minerals like lignite, coal, and mineral oil. One crushing and oil refineries are well developed, but ore crushing, iron ore crushing. Crushing means breaking them up into small things. And oil refineries are well developed, but the most important industries are those of meat packing and flour mills. So meat packing and flour mills are the most important industry. So today I've taught you the chapter. I will upload the video and you can go through the video. Keep your book open while watching the video. Follow the pages and read the chapter. And the next class I'll give you the question answers and the objectives. So for today, bye. Have a great day.